Hello. So, I just finished a sketchbook, so I thought I would share with you all the pages and maybe a little bit of the stories behind all of them. So I've been working in the same kind of sketchbook for a few years and I really love it, but they've all been a lot smaller than this, only about this big. So this is just me being very excited about having more room to play on the paper. So much room to play, yes. This is an idea that I was kind of running with, taking an abstract-y-ish landscape and imposing it in the shadows of a portrait. Didn't really work out too well. Something I was just playing with. And then I think, oh yeah, this was like the shadows on the paper of the watercolor warping the portrait on the other side, and then the shadows kind of made a portrait on its own, so I just kind of colored that in. I don't know, sticks and burrs and things. This is my husband napping. You can see his little face, little nose and mouth sticking out of the covers. Fun stuff. This was the first day of little artist retreat that I had gone on, and I was doing plein air painting every day, and this I actually started waiting for watercolor layers to dry, so I never really even finished that tree. And then this is again waiting for layers to dry. There were horses. I painted a lot on a little horse field and pasture, that's what they're called, horse pasture. Anyways, so these are drawn from life. The horses were not shy and moving around a lot, hence drawings not being very good because they moved a lot, and I was just trying to get quickie drawings of them. And there's also a goat that was friends with the horses, and she was really super sweet goat. Her name was Sally. So these are a couple of drawings of Sally sitting happily in the sun. And this is one of the horses just standing and looking at me, and then this is a little pond on the pasture that I painted. This is in like a more foresty area of the property that we were on, and these three trees I just kind of thought, I don't know, they look like three sisters to me somehow, and I really painted them pretty much just how they looked. They were very, I don't know, I felt iconic. And then this is that idea again of taking the landscape and imposing it onto a portrait, and so this was painted in the middle of the woods on the property, which is pretty cool. And then taking a tree that was on the property, imposing it on the portrait. I still wasn't very happy with it. And then these are just kind of composition sketches for paintings, some of which happened, some of which did not. And then this was, again, on that same property, on that artist retreat, just painting trees and stuff. And then it was a little rainy one day, so I was inside and painted my hand holding a pine cone that I found. Pine cones are super hard to draw. There's like math and stuff involved. More quick horse sketches and more composition thumbnail sketches. And then this is also on a rainy day, so I was sitting on the porch looking out back and drawing a tree that was out back there. And then just playing around. I play around a lot with combining nature and portraits and trying to come up with something that I find, I don't know, meaningful or significant. This was, I think, partially inspired by an artist on Instagram whose name I'll hopefully remember soon and let you know. Kind of taking a little bit of those elements and applying my own art to it. And then just painting plants right on top of portraits, playing around, trying to find combinations that I find interesting. And then these are blind hand contour drawings, where you're looking at your hand but you are not looking at your paper the entire time and drawing them. So there's a lot of these pages that are from my sketchbooking series, my online course, so I won't go into them too much because I go into them a lot in the online course. But these blind self-portraits are part of that online course too, as are these blob creatures, which are really super duper fun to do. The still life was part of it as well. And then this is my husband Matt watching something on his phone. Hands, ideas, still trying to make that landscape portrait thing work out that I don't think I ever really got super satisfied with. Self-portraits, also part of the sketchbooking series. So I've got time lapses of these and a lot of drawings in that online course that I'm working on. This collage was part of it, although mine, I don't really like how it turned out. I'm not very good at collage, but it's a really cool exercise as is. This is a sketch dump, another thing from my online course. Taking inspiration from multiple sources and kind of combining them into something completely new. This is just from a royalty-free image from the internet, pencil drawing, getting some detailed portrait stuff in there. That was cool. And then this is just a really super quick from life sketch of my husband. And then we get to some layered leaves that are kind of transparenty and interacting with the figure there. Just playing around. I think I wrote here, what did I write here? I said, I'm gonna be honest, this page is just a filler. And that's because I was anxious to do my next idea, which I needed a whole new spread for, which was this, where I have 2 different backgrounds and 1 paper cut that works on both the leaf background and the mountain background. And this concept makes me extremely happy to combine paper cutting and sketchbooking, and the fact that you get 2 different backgrounds. Anyways, makes me very happy. This was painted on a hike with my family at Conservation Park in Panama City Beach. This was abstractions that I think I started during that craft video that was made of me that was really super amazing and cool. I don't know, I'm just playing here. And then these are sketches for a super secret project that may or may not happen, so we'll kind of skip through those. Yeah, it's more of that. And see, these are done from life from musicians at the Florianopolis Meraki event. This was a failed attempt of using white ink. I don't know if my ink was old or what, but it did not work very well. This is the view out of our trailer window that we're living in, because our house is still destroyed from the hurricane, and looking towards the studio. So this is the studio, and then this is just bamboo and plants and everything. And this is my husband reading, and a bunch of flowers and things. This was done on a hike in, is that Pine Log or Point Washington? Point Washington State Forest. Favorite thing to do is go on a hike, find somewhere to stop, sketch for a while, hike a lot more. And then this is just lines. I guess I'll read it to you. What does it say? And every word is in a separate block, of course. What if I just drew lines day after day, year after year, line after line after line after? What if you never saw what I saw and I never saw what you saw, and we were all in our own world, all in our own weird world, line after line after. So, you know, it's up to you to interpret. This is drawn during one of my classes when my students were drawing, and there was a skeleton that I was drawing. His name's Rupert, but I couldn't draw all of them because one of my students was in the way. So then what do you do when you can't see all of something? You get creative and make it real weird. And then my go-to is hands, and just finding interesting things to do with those. This I drew with both hands at one time, which was a fun little exercise to do. So both of my hands are drawing simultaneously, and no, I am not naturally ambidextrous at all. And then, I don't know, hands and doing weird things. And then, I don't know, it's like inside jokes with myself. This page and this one started out thinking on what my favorite professor told me, that I was a visual philosopher, and so I was kind of pondering on that. And then this is coronavirus. aka COVID-19. Thinking about all of that. Just playing out with the style of portraiture, playing with new pens that get very teeny tiny, which I was very excited about. The little microns. This page took me a while. Some underwater inspired plant life thingies. And this is when I started doing the live streams on, started on Instagram and then migrated to Facebook. And so I had people watching me while I was drawing a lot of these. This was a calming thing at the beginning of the COVID crisis. Portrait of Tessa in pen. It's been a while since I've done a detailed pen drawing like that. Probably pretty obvious the inspiration of this one with that whole COVID-19 thing. I don't know, leaves and stuff. This is kind of showing off different media supplies for my sketchbooking course. These are combining portraits with leaves found on hikes. So these are all from photographs that I've taken on hikes of leaves and combining the portraits. This is on a hike in Pine Log. This is something that was part of my sketchbooking series. These are more things part of the sketchbooking series. This portrait just started out as a portrait that I didn't know what I was going to do with, and then I hated it. So I drew a bunch of lines on top of it with the leaves, and then that kind of led to the idea of doing this. Kind of thinking about masks because of the masks we have to wear for COVID-19, and thinking about all the healthcare workers, all the heroes that are like on the front lines right now and sacrificing a whole lot and risking themselves and their families for the greater good. And so I did a lot of pieces based on that, including these two. Kind of showing strength and hope and unity, all that stuff. This one too. This one was honestly just a sketch for a commissioned portrait that I had. This is a little comic that I made as part of my sketchbooking series. If you want to read it, you could pause it and read it. I won't read it to you. But it was based on an actual conversation, and that is exactly what I said. And then this is drawn live on live stream, and I was kind of like taking requests, so I drew one left-handed, and then I did a blind contour, and then these are some darker thoughts and notes on this whole COVID crisis thing. And then here's the last spread. This is also done live, also on the same concept of the masked heroes we have. And then undulating, weird, swirly, funky lines, and all of these hands kind of gesturing towards the future, attempting to be hopeful. So that's it. That's the sketchbook. It treated me very well, and I liked it very much, and I would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment on any thoughts or questions that you might have. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.